For the past 3 months, we've been working on an investigation into shopping centre beauty salons. It began after we were contacted by dozens of customers who've had IPL and laser treatments. And as you're about to see, the results are quite shocking.
They've disfigured my face. I'm unrecognisable.
So I'd really love to know how it went wrong. Look at these.
She can close her doors, but I have to go out and face the public every day looking like this.
Catherine, would you come out and answer Sharon's questions at all, just about what happened?
How did Sharon Carney's face go from this to this?
It was just disgusting. It was awful. I didn't even want to look at myself in the mirror. I didn't want anybody to see me. It was just terrible.
A massive infection covering her face, leaving the 34-year-old in hospital and on a drip for 2 weeks.
The doctors were horrified when I went into the emergency department.
Sharon's face stayed inflamed for 6 months after what she says was a failed IPL photo rejuvenation treatment.
It just kept on getting worse.
A year and a half on, her skin is still red and patchy. There are dents on her cheeks and Sharon wants answers.
We're not interested in making any comment.
Are you Catherine?
Yes.
Can I just show you these photos? I'd really love to know how it went wrong. Look at these.
Just rude. They don't want to speak to you on the phone and they don't want to speak to you face to face. It's just ridiculous. There's no common courtesy at all.
Sharon was treated at this clinic, Beauty on Rose in Essendon. Before the procedure, she had minor acne on her face and claims the therapist told her this treatment would help.
She took off all my makeup and said, "Oh, I can see that you've got some acne there," and proceeded to squeeze the boil that I had, which was excruciatingly painful. She wasn't wearing any gloves, and then performed the IPL procedure. So the doctors said that where she'd squeezed the boil, it had caused an open wound, and she's then performed the IPL over the top of it, and the heat has spread the infection right across my face.
We contacted the salon owner, Catherine Powell, and asked for an interview. She refused and offered this statement. We need to confirm that at no time did we perform any extractions on Mrs. Carney's face. This allegation made by our customer is an outright untruth and it is defamatory for her to make this allegation. Sharon says she stands by her claims and she wanted our cameras to come with her when she confronted the salon operator. But we didn't even get inside before Catherine called the police.
This is Sharon's face.
Sorry about what's happened to your face. And
That's okay.
The Sharon's questions at all, just about what happened?
Catherine then phoned her lawyer.
But you can stay here all day if you wish, but she's not coming out.
The salon has previously offered Sharon a $200 refund, which she refused. She can't afford a lawyer, and at the end of the day, it's her word against Catherine's. Sharon is just one of dozens of people who we've spoken to during our investigation into laser and IPL treatments. This woman had IPL in Capalaba in Queensland to remove pigmentation on the neck and chest. She ended up with second-degree burns. This lady had IPL on her back and chest in Sydney's CBD to remove freckles before her wedding. The therapist no longer works there. And this woman had IPL hair removal on her legs in Albury. 6 months on, she's still scarred.
Very little training is given, as far as I understand, on how to treat complications if they arise.
There are currently no national guidelines for either IPL or laser.
I have heard of some people getting as little as 6 hours training and then starting to use the machine, and some people have even less training.
And maybe this lack of training is because literally anyone can buy one of these machines. Just go to Google or eBay and you can find one overseas for just a few $1,000s. That's a pretty small investment when you consider these treatments cost hundreds of dollars for just a few minutes.
I would not wish this on anyone, and something needs to be done really quick. Too many people have been hurt and it needs to stop.
Rumi had IPL on her legs. She left the salon with more than 100 burns.
I just went, "What have you done? What have you done? Like, you've burnt me." And she just sort of looked at me and didn't know what to say.
Rumi says she complained of pain during the procedure, but claims she was told pain is normal. By the end, Rumi says she was hysterical.
I was in so much pain. I was shouting and crying, And she just left the room. She just left me there to go and get somebody else because she didn't know what to do.
Rumi called her fiancé Martin, who rushed to the salon.
He came to the salon. They told him to take a seat and they wouldn't let him through. And he said, well, if you don't let me through, you know, I'll just go into every room and find my fiancé.
If you did it to someone in the street, you'd go to jail. So why should it change if you're in a clinic?
These are the skin type settings there. So
Rumi had the procedure done here at Nirvana Beauty in East Gardens. Owner Suzanne Akil blames Rumi for the burns. She claims the machine settings were correct and believes Rumi was out in the sun prior to treatment, causing the burns.
it was as a result of her not following what she was told to do at home and avoid sun exposure.
At no point was she in any sunlight. That's what angers me the most, is that the blame was on Rumi and no accountability from their side about what they'd done.
The therapist who did Rumi's procedure no longer works at the salon, but Suzanne says all her operators are trained.
They all hold certificates in laser training.
So is that like a couple of day course thing, or what's that?
It's actually an online course that they all attend and then they pass an exam. That's basically the industry standard at the moment.
As soon as I walked out, I was just in incredible pain. The first sort of 6 to 12 hours were just excruciating.
Mike was also burnt on his chest during an IPL procedure for hair removal.
So I was basically covered from my neck down to my sort of waistline with these black lines in all different patterns all over my body.
Mike was treated here at Skin Deep Medispas in Como, Perth. He claims not only to be burnt, but the cream the salon gave him to help with his injuries could have made it worse.
The first cream that the girls there gave me, I took back to the office to apply, and when I actually read the instructions, it said on there, do not apply to broken or irritated skin, and of course I was covered in burns. So I took that back to them and they said, oh geez, sorry.
Well, even the best plastic surgeons have cases where, you know, something might not go to plan.
Helen Golisano, the salon owner, claims her therapists are well trained. Each does a 4 to 5 day training course and all are supervised for the first few months on the job. Helen believes the machine levels were correct and doesn't understand what went wrong.
I don't know. I actually can't answer that question. I wish I could. I don't really know.
They need to set up a set of regulations. We'd like to see that in place by the beginning of 2013 at the latest.
Dr. Susan Austin and the Cosmetic Physicians Society of Australia have been demanding national legislation for more than a decade. There is a federal agency responsible for the area, but since 2001 there's been no action.
We would like the regulations to include that people have to have the appropriate qualifications, they have to do the right sort of training, they also have to have professional indemnity insurance, and they have to agree not to treat certain skin lesions.
After seeing so many botched or failed procedures, you're probably wondering why this area isn't regulated. Well, we asked the same question, but no one is prepared to talk. Catherine King, the Parliamentary Secretary for Health, who's responsible for this area, refused to comment. The Federal Health Minister, Tanya Plibersek, also said no, and neither provided us with a written statement. So cases like this will continue to happen.
How many cases does it take for them to take it seriously?
It's completely changed my life and I'm scarred with it for life now.
The evidence is mounting now that really they can't put this on the back burner for any longer. It really has to be acted upon right now.
Ugly scenes there. And if you've had a bad experience at a shopping centre beauty parlour, we'd like to hear from you by phone, or you can send us an email. And of course, you can follow the story on Facebook or tweet us with your thoughts.